Welcome to Rauta Streams here on the channel, and as promised in the previous stream, I will mostly focus now on getting some map getting through. Why I'm doing this is because first of all I want to finish this particular area I'm now going through, and secondarily, I'm actually pretty fucking tired. So I'm gonna go for something that is not too nothing too story driven today. I want to just focus on some nice gameplay and all that stuff. So obviously this time the idea is to focus mostly on getting trees assassination things done. And as always, feel free to comment me about anything. Doesn't have to be related to game or gaming or even metal.
After party, let's go out.
Yeah, let's do that, Dixon. These gaming sessions tend to be very, very relaxing for me personally because, when you have been out there for the full day and you've done your gym and shit, it's just something that you kind of want to take a bit of a break. And enjoy just some entertainment, really. Ooh, nice. Secret tunnel of sorts.
Hello folks, D.
Hello, son of Abyss. So your Saturdays made of streaming and stuff? I mean, watching the streams and stuff.
How is your day, my friend? Slightly smiling face, yup. Just big chilling.
Yep, my day was pretty much spending time with the kid and then meeting a friend with his kids as well, my bandmate. A little bit of gym, working out. So it's pretty much been like a normal busy weekend day. And it seems tomorrow I will have to just go to the summer cabin to clear the area of some, cut some trees and shit. So, that.
That sounds fun.
Can't say it's really fun, but it's the kind of stuff that one needs to do. Like, it's not like I hate, taking care of the, summer cabin stuff and all that stuff. But, let's be honest about it. Sometimes you kind of feel like, hey, I wouldn't mind, having a little bit more time off. Gotta say, quite nice chain of assassinations. The funny thing is that I probably didn't even have to do all this stuff, so I'm just doing it while being out here. Quite of a maze indeed, this building. Maybe I should just focus on the goddamn daishos. Okay, so there's one more. Because to be honest, what the fuck do I have to care about? The other...
London Simulator.
Oh, London Simulator. In which way?
Stabby stabby haha.
Well, yeah, in that sense, I guess it's very, very correct. Now I'm just gonna try to focus not on, you know, collecting every fucking character here. I'm just trying to get these dice hoes killed because, you know, that results as good loot,
That was clean as hell.
but also, you know, those experience points. Because to be honest, this basic loot is just kind of a meaningless at this part of the game. It doesn't matter like anything at all. Just marking these enemies on the map just in case things go south. First of all, these kind of market targets, I get to do more damage on them, and the second thing is it's easy to see where they are coming from in case things really go bad. So 3 out of 5 killed. Of course, they're all scattered around this area, which means things are rarely not in one place. And there is a key. So I probably have to fetch for that in case I want to get a little bit better treasure. Oh yeah, now I remember. This was the place I already visited.
Your order has been placed. Excellent.
Oh, I'm happy for you, Markus. To be honest, that new clandestine place came pretty much like without a warning. because I heard about it just like I think it was the day before yesterday. And I was like, what the fuck? There was no mention about it. Yeah, ramen noodles are always some good stuff. I guess I'm gonna go for these treasures while I'm anyway around the area. That's a good question, son of Abyss. I really have been thinking about it, like, what would it be? Because I have so many games.
Noticed it while checking for shirts, as heard earlier more City of Slaughter merch was coming.
I have so many games in my backlog, and I don't know. I actually have that Dark Souls remake in my collection, so that is definitely something to consider.
That would be so cool.
I don't know if I just have the nerves for the difficulty, but I mean, I'm stoked to try it at least. But really, I don't know yet. It's kind of too early for me to even think about it, because
honestly, if you learn the moves of the enemies, it's pretty easy.
yeah, maybe it is. Maybe I'm just overthinking about it too much. The hype train about the difficulty was like so much like everywhere when those games kind of came out.
It is so exaggerated, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure that a lot of my friends didn't even want to touch any of the From Software games just because of the kind of I wouldn't say negative hype, what you know what I'm talking about.
They definitely have a reputation.
Yeah, I think the reputation is.
But nah, there's good combat and sweet moves. Zweihander ruled the first game, was happy to find it in Elden Ring.
I actually have Elden Ring already too, but it's on Xbox, so I really can't stream it on YouTube like I can do these PlayStation games.
Bloodborne is goated.
I gave up with Bloodborne after, I don't know, a couple of bosses. No, it must have been the boss number 2. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was brutal, but I just didn't want to get grinding the experience points, and I don't know. I never also went for, internet reading the kind of hey, what's the right tactics? What's the right build for my character kind of a thing. So maybe I should have, I don't know. But anyway, I just gave up on Bloodborne. I mean, I love the world, but I hated the idea that I would have to grind so much in the game. So much that I was like, fuck it. One thing I don't like about this game is that some of these.
The lore is so cool, very Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I love the Lovecraftian thing. So what I was saying about Assassin's Creed Shadows is that
FromSoft becomes a very different experience.
Some of these Assassin's Creed Shadows buildings are so overly complicated that I feel like I'm in a fucking maze, and that just takes too much time to go through all these places. And I'm like, this is so time consuming to go through the different. Especially when some of these pieces of loot are kind of like meaningless. So I don't like this overly complicated design of some places. I mean, it's probably rewarding for a lot of those who are into, getting all the possible loot. Like, now I'm wondering, what the hell is this particular item here, and how to get there? And I'm like, sometimes it's just some boring shit, and I'm like, but I want to find it. In this case, this is probably the main loot box, but I'm like, I cannot get it until I'm like done with all the samurai daishos. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes I just go and kill everybody, even if that's not really the kind of my intention. Like sometimes these places are just too big. Okay, so there's one more samurai daisho, and after this one we should be mostly taken care of. But this dude is pretty much surrounded by other stuff, so
What are your thoughts on Arcosland? I am obsessed with them.
well, I never actually listened too much Arcos Land. I remember I think it was the first album back in the days, and I remember it was just kind of a boring mellow death stuff. So I never ventured too much into that stuff. Oh fuck, I had this wrong tool selected. Now I'm being exposed.
Same experience. You're talking about galloping?
Yeah, that's the first album. I remember it being very, very mid mellow death album. So now I have 4 samurai geishas taken care of.
Death metal for black metal fans.
Yeah, I guess so, but you know the thing is, I was already a death metal fan before I became a black metal fan. So for me, those kind of gimmicky things don't do much. I remember what one of my friends who was very much a NSBN guy, I think he still is, and he was kind of like almost like butthurt when I said that this is like poor man's Amon Amarth, and he was like shocked because how could I say about that kind of a thing about like Arcusland, because it was this kind of a evil racist band and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I mean, I've already been listening to so much death metal before, bands like this, so for me it was very, very, mediocre thing to have. So, like you said, I think it's pretty correct that, like, if you're a black metal person and you've never been too much into melodic death metal, I mean, you might feel like this is something new that's happening here. But for us, death metal heads, it was just like, hey, what's the fuss about? So, okay, you have a melodic death metal band with some black metal aesthetics or themes, and just because it's, I don't know, racist and whatever, I mean, why should we give a fuck? It's an edgy melodic death metal band. It's still just like, a melodic death metal band. So it's not gonna, change the game. But I mean, there were already like so many black death metal bands with the more melodic output. I mean, think about like bands like Dissection, for instance, or Unanimated. So, I mean, if the only difference is that okay, it's just a racist band, like, like I don't care. Now I haven't played the old Tomb Raiders too much. I never liked them too much, but when the new Tomb Raider came out, what it was, maybe 10, 12 years ago. I really liked the game, and then I played the other one. So I guess I could say I like the modern Tomb Raider games. I haven't played the third one, Shadow of Tomb Raider, whatever it was. Alright, my job here at this very complex is pretty much complete, except for the actual main loot here. I most definitely won't be looting all the boxes here. I'm too much done with that stuff in this game. While it's fun, it's so time consuming and doesn't really reward me enough to do it. But in all, like getting back to Arcos Land and the stuff like that, I mean, for me it's definitely not a bonus that a band is edgy, you know, being racist and shit. I mean, I can totally tolerate that kind of stuff, but it's not like a bonus thing. Okay, so this band is racist. Oh, it's better. Like, I mean, what the fuck would I be like, too much about it? You know, I can live, like I said, I can live with it, but it's definitely not a bonus thing for me. And I have to remember how to get into this particular place. Yes, finally here. Okay, I think it's time for me to piss off from this place and move on to something else. Anyway, I will be roughly 30 minutes or whatever gaming, so once again, keep bombing me with your questions and stuff, and I'll do my best to answer your questions while doing my errands in the game. And I'm like, how can I get out here? This is hilariously stupid sometimes. Sometimes games like this, and this is not very harsh critic, is that who would really design such places? Yeah, you have to go many floors up so you can get out of the window, versus like how about you just, I don't know, make more doors into your place. So sometimes these are not like, you know, very realistic in the sense of like creating a building. Alright, since this place is now taken care of, I think it's time for me to go for a little bit of surroundings. As mentioned, I guess in the previous stream or whatever, this place is made of many different uh, regions, and I'm mostly done with these. I still have like one, two, three,
Did you ever
four.
guys in AIM and MRF in the older days?
So I have still lots of things to explore. So I'm like, I need to go to explore a new territory, but I guess I want to finish this Harima before I move on. I never actually spoke to those Amonomoth guys back in the days. I've met the vocalist Head only once, and even that was kind of a very briefly at Midcourt's Plot 2022, where his company was selling these medieval or Viking weapons or whatever, and when I was interested in doing an interview, he was basically, oh, you have to check out with the management and all that shit, so never happened. So unfortunately never been able to interview Amon Amarth, for instance.
Oh man.
But I got to talk, there was a little bit of I think I made a short video at Midcourt's Plot, because Heg was actually showing me some of the weapons.
Their later material is way too clean for me.
Yeah, I get it, son of a bitch. I mean, I really like the early Amon Amarth stuff. I was blown away already with their first MCD in '96. Sorrow Throughout the Nine Worlds. And whenever the first album came out, I was really like in love with the band, because I've been, also always been a big fan of Viking stories.
YSSS.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great band. I don't understand why so many people give them shit for them doing their own Viking stuff. So, because I mean, they have always been honest about, their stuff. Viking stories, melodic death metal, and, I think Heg is a wonderful vocalist. He's a really good growly voice, and in my opinion, they never betrayed themselves, if you know what I mean. So it's always been like, in my opinion, very honest bands about themselves, and I think they have totally like deserved their fame and success. They have been a hard-working band, album after album, tour after tour. I mean, it's one thing if you don't just like Viking stories or you don't like commercial bands. I mean, I get it. But personally, I've been always very, more than fine, with their success. I think it's great that bands like Amon Amarth can go big, with that kind of music. I mean, surely it's somewhat cheesy and all that stuff, but like I said, they haven't been, selling themselves out, and surely they got worse with later albums. Basically, in my opinion, Amon Amarth pretty much peaked with Twilight of the Thunder God album, which I think is really great. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are always people who don't like cheese. So. Okay, now I need to change for samurai. There will be this challenge. So I will quickly check out the inventory to check out the possible upgrades. What's still some weapon I missed? Ah, another upgrade. Okay, let's see about this. Alright, let's change the character. And about 30 minutes, 25 maybe, before I will go. Because it's 2:30 in the morning already.
Any other worthwhile podcasts than Gehen and Leaky?
To be honest, I'm very lazy talking about podcasts, but I guess I could point you towards Into the Necrosphere, done by my friend these days, Jackie Smith. I say these days because a couple of years ago I didn't even know him, but I know he does great job with Into the Necrosphere podcast, good interviews and all, and he's a great lad. We talked a few times in Bergen this year when we met, and we did this co-podcast with Into the Necrosphere and Iblis Manifestations. Those two are, by the way, good friends too in real life. Cheyenne from Trivax and Iblis Manifestations, and Jackie Smith from Into the Necrosphere. So definitely check out Into the Necrosphere and Iblis Manifestations. Both are solid guys doing some good podcasts. Hello, Astralis. How are you doing, man? So at least those podcasts I would follow. I also think that heavy metal philosophy podcast could be worth checking out. And now I have to focus. A little bit. Okay. Oh, I missed already. Yeah, we're supposed to do the I failed it, this stuff. I started talking about too much the other stuff. So I was already like missing the whole quest. I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that co-stream thing in a bit. I'll try to do this one now. Because these take focus really. Oh fuck, this is hard. It's so dark here. Fuck. What? I shot one? What the fuck? Seriously? I've never sucked so much with these. I don't know if it's about the graphics being dark or whatever, but I've mostly done these with one go, and now I couldn't hit even. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh fuck, missed that one. Okay, now I know where the two first are. But yeah, this is clearly like they're so well camouflaged in a way. These are actually quite annoying, but I want to do them because I don't want to give up. Now I see actually the first one. And there you have it. 5 out of 5. As supposed to.
Drive by.
Yep. Right by. But yeah, there are a few podcasts. My problem is that I don't have enough time to listen to them because I'm always listening to music. So I'm
It's hard
like,
to play games in Japanese. It's not bad reading during Cushionies, but when you are fighting, it's hard to read and fight especially.
yeah, SK, I agree. It's hard to keep track of the language while you're trying to manage, but I still want to play it in Japanese because I think it adds just more value to the whole thing here. But yeah, about podcasts, I really kind of a need to listen to them more so I can. Yeah, immersion is the right word. Thank you. Really, what I kind of want to do is listen to those podcasts. So, and I could talk about. They would give me a lot of ideas, what to talk about. Rauta, respond to their ideas, and kind of inspire me. But the thing here is, I just want to listen to music more and more. So sometimes I feel like if I'm listening to podcasts, then I'm missing out on music. And like I was talking about the actual stream today, the thing is, when you have like 50 albums a day, how on earth I'm supposed to listen to all of those albums when I don't even have the time to, listen to half of them. Oh, I should probably check out the inventory as well as the mastery points. Alright, and let's do a save game for now. As you can see, I'm beyond 70 hours mark right now, which means I have been playing this game quite a bit, considering that I have so many areas still like not explored. But I don't mind, I'm enjoying the game a lot.
I'm playing the first Half-Life on my Steam Deck. Are you on Steam?
Oh yeah, SK, I've been on Steam for, I don't know, pretty early on. So of course you can add me there as your friend on Steam. I'm something annihilated something. And yeah, son of a bitch, glad you recognized me from the Loputon Liekki documentary. It's funny that a lot of people really, notice me. I mean, recognize me as the same person. because of long hair and younger and all that stuff. But
It is a very cozy documentary.
yeah, it's a good documentary and it gives a very honest feeling about or idea about Finnish black metal scene. Obviously, a lot of those people have changed over the years and stuff. So, for example, the Vargrave guy, he's not alcoholic like he's in that documentary, really. And in a way, a lot of things have changed, more or less, from those documentary days. By the way, in case people didn't know, the same Sami Kettunen who directed, made the documentary, he is also the same guy from Ride for Revenge and also his label Bestial Burst. So he has also put out music by my bands, Annihilatus. So we're kind of a very much in a way tied to one another. And of course I have interviewed him too.
One of the very bed in BM.
Yeah, I know, Marcus, you like that a lot. I remember you mentioning it. And Sami is a solid old school guy. Oh fuck, did they already did the fucking alarm? I need to stop that. Oh fuck. He managed to do it. Fuck that shit. So much for... So much ensuring that now it's all wounded and I could have done this totally different ways, but now I'm all messed up with this fight. I managed to... I guess I don't have them. Oh yes, Kay, you have to watch that documentary. It's mandatory for anyone who is into Finnish black metal and all, but now I can really focus on that. And yeah, those missed parts is also fun. Those cut out parts, but now I can really focus on the... Can't really focus on anything else but combat here because I'm just...
saw that some guys on it are making a finished death metal doc.
Yeah, well, there's some younger guys doing some kind of a Finnish metal documentary, but I got the impression that these guys were too young to even, you know, understand most of the shit what they were doing. I think there are too many guys who are just thinking like doing a proper metal documentary can be done just like that. I don't want to discourage them for, you know, doing that stuff, but I mean, it takes more than just to go interview a band, you know? Like otherwise I could just say, oh, Rauta is a fucking interview, I mean documentary in itself, but it's not like that, you know? Documentary is much more like doing background stuff, and, you know, as such, for example, that's why I wouldn't consider.
The most important things for creating a documentary.
No, I have never done a documentary, so I can't really say what is the most important. But obviously, I think one of the key things is that there has to be some kind of some connecting dots, you know, a theme of sorts in documentary. It's just not, you know, like, hey, let's interview some bands, and that's pretty much of it. Because there's more than that. Yeah, I mean, without context, it just... Without context, it's just basically a bunch of random interviews, you know, without any kind of a deeper sense to it. And what's the point of that, really?
Agreed. I know you make your videos you release Sundays about Norwegian information, but you would probably make an excellent documentary.
Yeah, I know my video series in a way could be about that stuff, but even that would need it to be in a way like a more kind of a context to, like, you know, my video series as such is not obviously
Arena has that one doc about Norwegian VM. Can't remember the name.
there are quite a few of Norwegian black metal documentaries, like if it's that Backbackers, sorry, what was it called? What the the fuck was the name of that documentary?
Think it was like a couple of hours long, but I'll has it in 4-5 episodes or something.
Then it could be this. The fuck it was called? Helvete. Helvete was at least few episodes. That's actually a good black metal documentary, but it was unfinished because it seems what I was told is that they ran out of funding. They was basically done by a Norwegian, what do you call it? Norwegian Yle.
Hanging around the old haunts, etc.
Yeah, that's what it. But it became in the end too much like a mayhem documentary. I mean, it was like 4 episodes, of which 2 mostly focused on mayhem, and it was supposed to be very deep and all that stuff. But what I heard is that they ran out of funding, and that's why it's so mayhem focused. Even though it was supposed to be more than just about mayhem. Like the last episode just abruptly ends, and it felt like, what the fuck is going on? But then someone from Norway told me that they were supposed to make more episodes, more focus on various bands and all that stuff, but they just didn't get the budget, so they pretty much had to like wrap it up, and that's why it feels so weirdly out of balance. Like 2 episodes on mayhem, then another episode about the other bands, and then suddenly like, okay, that's it, bye bye. And obviously that didn't work well. Look, there's supposed to be some kind of a key somewhere.
I mean, mayhem has its place, but everyone in BM knows the Norwegian 90s story already.
Yeah, Marcus, exactly. And I mean, I didn't mind that they gave more time with mayhem if the original idea was to talk about other bands in similar fashion as well, like give like more understanding what's the story with the other bands and shit. But
Very true.
so if they had been like gotten the enough of time to do more bands, like including Dark Throne and Emperor and Immortal and all that stuff, it would have made a lot of sense. But like I said, what can you do if you're like just running out of budget? So there is that. But yeah, indeed, there was this other Norwegian black metal documentary, which was, fuck, I can't remember the name, but it pretty much made the word Blackpacker known. Black Hearts was the name, and that is something that's not good. It's a very, very mediocre documentary. It's almost like a fucking tourist guide to Norway, rather than being about black metal. It tells you about these guys like a Nar Mataron traveling to Norway, taking tourist photos and shit. And then there's this one guy from I think South America or whatever. Then there's this guy from the Vastland, which is actually a cool part of the Black Heart documentary, because he's moving from Iran to Norway to black metal, blah blah blah. Yeah, indeed, Margus, that's just gloomy dudes traveling. And while there are cool bands like Nar Mataron and from the Vastland doing it, it's more like about like, it's more about just like, hey, let's make a tourism video out of Norway. So I think it was very mediocre documentary. By no means must have. Whereas the Helvete thing, having even people like Dead's brother being interviewed, I think it's a definitely worth watching.
この刃を身につけとるのもそのためじゃ。
やはり刃を。それはお主のか。
問答はここまでじゃ。わしと戦え。手加減はせん。
But after this fight, I will I will reply SK properly about the stuff that I was. What I had in mind about this black metal documentary thing.
腕が立つ。だが負けるわけにはいかんのだ。これ以上は耐えきれん。己の制約をたがえてしもうた。この命くれてやる。
早まるな。
I played Skyrim when it was fresh. This was in 2010 or 2011, more likely. I played it through, and while I liked Skyrim, it still felt like a poor man's version of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was so much better than Skyrim.
Bans and skipping Burzum just tells me they have an agenda. The inclusive save space, black, meddlers. I like Oblivion better. Who will our gamer down?
Yeah, but I think they didn't skip Burzum just because of some kind of agenda. I think they probably could have and should have mentioned it later on, but probably, like I said, probably run out of money because of the budget cuts and whatever. I mean, I don't think they had some kind of a political agenda about the whole thing, but I mean, of course, I cannot be sure. But I think also that, you know, retelling the whole Vikernes story is too important for them to just... Oh, yeah, okay. Then I understand what you're talking about. But not talking about Vikernes is just like, you know, it's too important to talk about. Oh, how I like this kick. This is so nice and powerful. But not to talk about Burzum is just like, you can't do it because, you know, it's just so important topic. I guess I cannot... get that. Get those lost pages with this character because I cannot climb. That was a brutal beheading. Okay, now that the combat is pretty much over, I don't know if I can change the character. Let's see. Again, so many options for character. Character upgrades. So as I was saying about what SK mentioned, I probably missed some of the comments due to a lot of combat recently, but like SK was mentioning that my the black metal series about Finnish black metal, like those videos what I made about Finnish black metal or Norwegian black metal. Um, like I could totally do the documentary, but it's fuck. Come on, give me the prompt now. So, like I said, in a way, my history series about those bands basically, basically could do it. I think why in reality it's not so easy because my takes on the black metal history of Norway and Finland is very much based on like my own kind of research and reading, you know. But if I wanted to make a proper documentary, I would kind of oh fucking Guardians. These are after this one too. So I would kind of have to interview those people too. And to be honest, one of the reasons why I'm not too big fan of these interviews is that, or documentaries, sorry, is that if I would have to squeeze a lot of information in one documentary, you know, I'd rather make a series in that sense. Like if I like do, for example, these episodes which are maybe like 50, 20 minutes each, and then I get to talk more about individual bands. But if I had to make some 90 minutes interview, for instance, you know, I would really have to cut a lot of information out. So that's why I don't, you know, like to do one documentary as opposed to say a video series.
Beginning, they say church burn-ins and they mention a list of bands in the intro and leave out Burzum in the where they mention Burzum next. I'm trying to find the Burzum Einsatzkommando shirt, very hard to find. Rauta dot would be cool, but even without one, Rauta has already carved its name in metal media.
Thank you, Marcus.
No one has interviewed and reviewed as many as well. And Marcus 616 agreed.
Yeah, I know. I've been reviewing and interviewing more bands than most people. So at least in that sense, I know that I have done my part in documenting black metal. But you know, just doing that stuff in one documentary means I would have to split a lot of stuff into smaller parts. So I'd rather do one interview focusing on each band and all that stuff rather than when making documentary where you see only like say 1 minute of any given band, if that makes. Thank you, Marcus. That's very, very cool that what you say. So don't get me wrong, I do love those documentaries myself, but I think one 90 minutes. Thank you, Marcus. That's what I try to do. I don't want to be like it's done for no paid because I'm not. And to be honest, I would love to do those interviews longer sense. Like when we did this Profanatica interview last weekend, it was something like 45 minutes. And to be honest, I think it could have easily been twice as lengthy. But you know, even if I did some like 60 minutes of an interview, like I did actually with Anal Nathrak last February, or something like 70 minutes almost.
Too long to explain
So
here, but I won that one.
even if that would be a long enough for a documentary, that clearly doesn't, expand around the whole topic, the whole band and all that stuff. So if I wanted to make Anal Nathrak documentary, for instance, that interview is merely a starting point. Obviously, I would have to explain the whole story around the person I was interviewing, showing what they have done previously and all that stuff. So, like I said, even though I said I like it, these documentaries, I rather do individual episodes around the given topic rather than just motherfuckers, how come about these motherfuckers? Come on, what the fuck? Sorry, in the heat of combat, it was a little bit hard to focus on the talk. So as I was saying, I'd rather do individual episodes on various topics than try to do one documentary that kind of a be all whatever, you know. I think I will now finish this session because this was a little bit of a mess of various things, like trying to figure out this area, which I guess I did, and also some other parts. This area is pretty much taken care of, but still to explore. So indeed, I will stick to my episode.
Sense and be a treasure trove in a way, but then kind of don't fit the scene/character. PPL don't need to know all.
Yeah, and while I've been writing so much in past 20 plus years, and I know I could write a book, it would just take so much time. It's hard to fit that between day job, Rauta, band life, family life, and all that stuff. Not to mention selling books like that is pain in the ass. So it's not really kind of a tempting to do. Besides that black metal book, Dale Patterson already did and now expanded a couple of years ago. It's so good, in my opinion. There is no really there's no room or need to do another book similar to that. So I'd rather keep myself doing the videos because that's what Rauta is known for, rather than expanding it to the books. While I like those black metal books, including The Devil's Cradle, and I think they're both very well done books, the black metal book and Devil's Cradle, I don't think there is not much I could add within one book. I mean, I've been thinking about it just yesterday, or was the day before. I was thinking about, it would be really cool to write a book about these interviews and all that
Devil's
stuff.
Cradle is nice.
But then again, it would be kind of a recycling, rehashing my own ideas again and
Devil's
again and
Cradle is so
again.
good.
So, yeah, I don't think it makes sense for me to start writing a book about it because books
What
have the
sort
same
of book
problem with.
is that?
I think that the books have the same problem with documentaries. Like take Devil's Cradle as an example. When you have, say, 30 different bands that you want to put within one set of covers in one book, you can only dedicate certain amount of pages per band, and then you kind of have to move on. And while it works nicely with that black metal book, uh, which I reviewed and I strongly recommend people to read, it's so much thicker and bigger than Devil's Cradle, uh, the Dale Patterson one. I still think that all those books, even if they say dedicate 10 or 20 pages to a band, it's still, leaving a lot of stuff out. So, in a sense, all bands kind of deserve more than just 10 or 20 pages, if you know what I mean. So, much like, having one interview with a given band, which takes maybe some 30 minutes or 60 minutes, it's still not gonna, you know, take it all. It's
Man,
still gonna
speaking
mean
of
that
never
some
getting
things are
first, the
all
VG
out.
is amazing. I got the platinum trophy the other day.
That's good to know, SK. I really, really can't wait to touch that game myself too. But anyway, as much as it would be fun to talk about these black metal books and black metal interviews and all that stuff, I really need to get back to bed. I mean, it's 15 past 3, and I need to get up at 11. So I'm trying to get that 8 hours of sleep.
Finish this
Um,
book about a young powerlifting journalist covering a scene previously unheard of.
yeah, Margus, that's a great idea. But yeah, I'm thinking of making better videos in the
Monster.
future. So
Haha,
trying to
lol.
cover more of those bands in the future. So for me, it's a learning process in a way to do this Norwegian black metal series, and then now what I'm doing is the Finnish black metal series, and hopefully expanding to other countries like Sweden and Greece. So when I'm doing these series, I think they can actually help me also to get better in terms of making somewhat documentary like content out of the stuff. But if it's just me talking
You should
about
add
these
sound
given
bites from
bands,
albums you review.
yeah, I've been thinking about the sound bites thing, but the thing is, it's not really worth it because the reviews get so few views anyway, and putting extra effort into that stuff is not gonna make things different. Also, there is also this copyright thing, which is somehow a little bit problematic. So if the sound bites are too long, you know, it can just fuck up the whole Rauta thing. So I'd rather say people, okay, this is the review, but you can start listening to. You don't need the sound bites within. And especially when some people have said that they don't even want the sound bites in those reviews. So they can check out the review independently and then, listen to the music on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, when they want. So it's easier to add the music as someone who checks out the review and then checks out the music rather than include the music and then you cannot kind of remove it. It makes sense. But really, this is a
You
way
do
too
get
big
glimpse
of a
of the stuff
topic.
I work when you post during the week. I try to watch them when possible.
Oh yeah, I get it, SK. But anyway, this is too vast of topics. Oh, I could be here talking for 2 hours and still we would have some unanswered questions and all. So yeah, these are really good topics. So thanks for inspiring me in terms of like what to do and what not to do and all that stuff. And obviously, I am continuing my Finnish black metal series as I speak. There's at least one episode that it's done but hasn't come out yet, and there's one episode ready to be filmed. So I already have done everything, like listening to the music and reading about the bands and filling in with the facts and all that stuff. But it just needs to be done. So yeah, plenty of episodes coming out from the Finnish black metal scene from the 90s still. There are lots of bands I haven't even touched yet, but I am, I have the list.
As the fans are evidence you already know what and how.
Yeah, but I mean, fans can be, good inspiration nonetheless, and sometimes, listening to fans and followers gives a little bit like good insight what could be better, what could not be better, and how things are. So I always appreciate you people giving me ideas what I could do and all that stuff. So I might be blind to my own ideas or missing out some ideas which could be. So I really like respect community for giving me ideas and giving me feedback about the videos. And when it's constructive talk, I really find it very useful and interesting rather than saying like, oh, you suck, you bald guy, or whatever. But like I said, I really gotta be going. It's 20 past 3, so like I said,
Ice bucket challenge then.
yeah, let's see about it. But yeah, lots of content coming out. I'm already filled with lots of ideas. It's hard to just do enough videos
Sleep well,
versus how much I have all in my list. But
all of you. I didn't mean
uh,
it as an insult. I like what you do. Have a good one, Jerry.
yeah, thank you, SK. I know you didn't mean it as an insult. No problem. It was for the time being. The soundbite idea is a little bit off, but I'll still think about it, especially with those history series. But anyway, like I said, there are plenty of ideas coming out, and pretty much already year 2025 is mostly full with the calendar. I try to take Rauta to the next level next year if possible, but that needs some ideas, me to figure out and all that stuff. But I'll get back to it, and of course we can discuss those on next stream and following gaming streams. But now I have to bid you good night and take care, mates, and hopefully doing another stream tomorrow, and then we can discuss more. Now off you go, and good night.